Feeling like you constantly give your all but receive little in return. Tired of endlessly justifying yourself to those who seem deaf to your words and blind to your efforts. If every attempt to gain respect or understanding leaves you more drained and frustrated, it's because you've been taught to play the wrong game. You've been told that persistence, more communication, and openness are the keys. What a falsehood. Sometimes the only way to truly be heard, to reclaim your power, and earn the respect you deserve is, ironically, to become silent and disappear without offering explanations to anyone. I know it sounds counterintuitive, even aggressive, but trust me, this profound truth unlocks a freedom you never imagined. The ancient Stoics weren't reclusive philosophers. They faced the empire's cruelty, friends' betrayals, and the world's indifference head-on. They learned a crucial lesson. True strength isn't in how loudly you speak, but in how unshaken you remain. It's not about chasing others' respect, but about the unwavering respect you hold for yourself. Their principles, forged through life's harsh realities, offer a guide to navigating this chaotic world without losing your dignity or inner peace. Forget dry philosophy. This is Stoicism for daily battles, transforming you from a pawn into the monarch of your own life. In this video, we'll dissect these powerful principles that will fortify you against disrespect, manipulation, and disdain. Each lesson is a vital piece of the puzzle, helping you build a life where you are valued not for what you do for others, but for who you are. If you dare to confront this truth and apply it, your life will change forever. Don't skip a single second, as every piece of advice is crucial. If you're ready for this personal revolution, show your commitment by liking this video and subscribing to the channel right now. Your journey toward an unshakable life begins here. Your initial tool, disappearing. Let's start with a dose of reality. You've been conditioned to believe that when faced with disrespect, you must confront, speak up, and fix things. This only works if the other person possesses a degree of empathy or genuine interest in you, but when confronted with indifference, subtle contempt, or overt manipulation, attempting to explain yourself is like trying to reason with a brick wall. Your first and often most potent action isn't to say something, it's to cease being present. It's absence. It's the silence that resonates more powerfully than 1,000 words. When you realize your presence is taken for granted, your efforts ignored, and your feelings trampled without remorse, your instinct might scream to fight back, to verbally defend yourself, to expose the injustice. That's where you falter. By doing so, you validate the idea that you require their understanding or approval to feel good about yourself. In essence, you are seeking permission to be respected, and respect that is begged for isn't true respect. It's pity, or worse, veiled mockery. Stoicism, in its stark wisdom, teaches you to control only your internal world and your actions. You don't control how others perceive you or how they treat you. Trying to compel someone to respect you is a losing battle from the start. What you do control is your response. And the most dignified response, the one that preserves your energy and self-esteem, is withdrawal. Consider this. You've been there, present, available, trying to fit in, striving to be seen, seeking validation. You've sent messages left unread, offered unappreciated help, and participated in conversations where your opinions were consistently minimized. What have you gained? Exhaustion, frustration, and the feeling of being a phantom in your own social or professional life. Now imagine this. You stop. You stop sending that message. You stop appearing in places where you're not truly welcomed. You stop offering your time and energy to those who don't value it. You simply vanish. No drama. No, I'm leaving because you don't appreciate me. No lengthy explanation about needing space. You just fade away. What happens then? Several things. First, you reclaim your energy. The energy you wasted trying to maintain one-sided connections or justify your existence now returns to you. You can redirect it toward things that genuinely nourish you, that help you grow. Second, you strip the other person of the power to ignore you. When you're always present, you're predictable, part of the scenery, a constant that requires no attention. When you depart, you disrupt that constant. You create a void, and it's in that void that the other person, perhaps for the first time, begins to notice your absence. There's no guarantee they will suddenly value you, let's be clear. but it does guarantee that you are no longer there to be casually dismissed. This act of strategic disappearance isn't fleeing. It's a tactical retreat to safeguard your most valuable asset, your self-respect. It's a silent yet forceful declaration: I don't need your approval to know who I am, and I won't remain where my worth is invisible to you. It's ceasing to beg for presence and starting to demand dignity through your absence. Don't fall into the trap of thinking this is immature or that things need to be discussed. Discussing things works with mature, respectful people. With emotional energy vampires and those who only want something from you, conversation is a waste of time and dignity. Your time is sacred, your energy limited. Don't squander it on those who don't deserve it. Begin today. Identify a situation, a person, a group where you constantly feel you're explaining yourself without being heard or exerting effort without being seen, and simply withdraw. Don't announce your withdrawal. Don't justify your departure. Just disappear. Observe what happens. Observe how you feel. You'll discover that silence, your voluntary silence, possesses a strength you've never experienced before. It's the first step to stop being an option and start being a priority. Your own. Your worth doesn't require your explanation. Here's another uncomfortable truth that has been concealed from you. You owe no one an explanation for who you are or why you do what you do, unless your actions directly and detrimentally affect another's life or rights. Period. End of story. This compulsive need to justify yourself, to beat around the bush explaining your decisions, your feelings, your preferences, all of it stems from deep insecurity. You're like a defense attorney who hasn't yet realized they don't need to convince the jury if they already know their client is innocent. You are your own client, and if you know your worth, others' opinions are irrelevant to your internal judgment. Think about the last time you spent minutes or hours, mentally or in conversation, explaining why you said something, did something, or felt something. To whom? To someone who had already decided not to understand you, to someone seeking an excuse to criticize you, to someone whose own insecurity prevented them from recognizing your value. All that energy, all that time, for what? Perhaps to gain a half-hearted nod, a fleeting "okay, I understand now" that lasts less than a minute, or simply to confirm that no matter how much you explain, some people simply won't appreciate who you are. Stoicism confronts you with this reality. Your worth doesn't reside in external validation. It doesn't reside in the number of likes you get, the praise you receive, or whether your family or friends understand your path. Your intrinsic value, your dignity, your worthiness, comes from your character, your virtues, the consistency between your actions and your principles, and that, my friend, needs no explanation to anyone. You embody it, and those with eyes to see will perceive it. And those who don't, well, that's their loss. When you constantly justify yourself, you project an image of doubt. You're saying, I'm not sure if what I do or who I am is right. I need you to tell me it is. And people consciously or unconsciously perceive that weakness. Instead of offering the respect you seek, they offer condescension, manipulation, or simply ignore you because you don't project strength. The Stoic focuses on what they can control: their judgments, their impulses, their desires, and their aversions. Others' opinions? They are beyond their control. The need to explain yourself for acceptance? That's an external desire, a chain. The path to freedom, to unshakable self-respect, involves releasing that need. Stop using debilitating phrases. Excuse me, but I know you might not understand, but I wanted you to know my side because... Enough. Speak with the confidence of someone who knows who they are. Choose to act according to your values and let your actions speak for themselves. If someone genuinely and respectfully questions you, you can choose to respond briefly, calmly, without that urge to convince. But if the questioning is laden with judgment, contempt, or manipulative intent, your best response is simple, serene silence, or I don't need to explain this to you, delivered with complete conviction. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your very existence, your daily effort to be a virtuous person in the Stoic sense of integrity, wisdom, justice, and courage, that is your declaration. Everything else is noise. Practice this week. Whenever you feel the urge to justify yourself, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for clarity Or am I seeking approval? If it's the latter, seal your lips and maintain your stance with dignity. You'll discover that by ceasing to explain yourself, you begin to project a strength previously buried under layers of insecurity and the need for validation, and that strength is a magnet for genuine respect. Silence speaks when you cease talking. Here's the profound paradox. In a world that never stops talking, your silence can be your most powerful weapon. You've been taught that in the face of conflict, injustice, or a slight, you must respond. You must defend yourself, argue, and clearly state your point. And in doing so, you descend into the mire with the other person. You might win the argument, perhaps, but you lose your peace and your dignity. Stoicism proposes something radically different, using your absence as a response. When you withdraw without warning, without an emotional farewell note, without a "I'm leaving because of you," you create a deafening void. Your silence, your unexpected lack of reaction, becomes a message far more potent than any reproach or explanation. People have a natural tendency to take constant presence for granted. Your friends, family, co-workers, if you are always there, available, reactive to their calls, messages, dramas, you become part of the furniture. They don't actively value you because they don't fear losing you. You are a convenience, not a treasure. But what happens when that piece of furniture that's always there suddenly disappears? When the call goes unanswered for days, when the message remains unreplied, when your chair at the usual social gathering is empty, a disruption occurs, an unease. What the hell is going on? Your unexplained absence forces the other person to confront that disruption. It deprives them of the opportunity to argue, to justify themselves, to manipulate the conversation. It leaves them alone with their own conscience and the void you've left. And it is in that void that, sometimes, just sometimes, they begin to appreciate what they had and what they've lost. This isn't about manipulation to make them miss you. It's about re-educating people about your worth and your boundaries without expending a single word. Your absence sets a non-negotiable limit. If you don't value me when I'm here, I won't be available for you to continue devaluing me. It's an act of fierce self-preservation. Imagine that person who constantly belittles you with harsh jokes or sarcastic comments. You've tried talking to them, ignoring them, responding in kind. Nothing works. Now, try this. The next time they do it, don't react. Simply withdraw from the conversation or the place, without a word, without a gesture of anger. Just leave. Let your absence be your only response. The discomfort you generate in that moment, instead of the expected confrontation, sends a clear message. Your behavior doesn't warrant my presence. This is especially powerful in situations where you've been too accessible, where you've allowed your boundaries to be crossed repeatedly. By disappearing, you are reconfiguring the rules of the game. You are showing them that your time, your energy, and your presence are a privilege, not an acquired right. Of course, not everyone will react by valuing you. Some will be angry at your arrogance or lack of communication. Let them be. These were precisely the ones who benefited most from your excessive availability and explanation. Their anger confirms that your withdrawal has struck a nerve. Their discomfort is not your problem. It's the result of their own prior disrespect. Practice the art of silent withdrawal. Not to punish anyone, but to protect yourself and to teach without words the value of your presence. When you stop being constantly available, when your absence becomes a real and unannounced possibility, people begin to think twice before taking you for granted. Your silence becomes your most powerful statement, and often it's the only one they truly hear. External approval is a cage. Let's be direct. If your emotional well-being relies on others approving of you, complimenting you, or understanding who you are or what you do, you're living in a cage. It might be a cage with gilded bars, because external validation can feel good for a moment, like a drug. It gives you an ephemeral rush of self-esteem, but that rush is false, artificial, and above all, unstable. Stoicism delivers this truth bluntly. The opinions of others are among the least reliable and least important things that exist. People change their minds like socks. What they love about you today, they criticize tomorrow. What they understand today, they judge tomorrow. Basing your sense of worth, your happiness, or your inner peace on something so volatile is a recipe for misery. It's like building your house on quicksand. Any wind, any wave of criticism or disapproval can bring everything crashing down. And yet, we are programmed to seek that validation. From childhood, we are taught to please parents, teachers, peers. We are rewarded for conforming, for fitting in, for gaining group approval. We grow up with this intrinsic need to be seen and accepted by the outside world, and social media is the most potent drug in this circus of external approval. Every like, every positive comment, every new follower is a small dose of that drug, and when you don't receive it or you receive criticism, the crash is brutal. The Stoic scoffs at all of that. They understand that true strength and true peace come from within. They come from living according to your own principles, from doing what you believe is right, regardless of whether the world applauds or crucifies you. The only approval that matters is your own, the one that arises from a clear conscience and from knowing that you are doing your best according to your own standards. The need for external approval turns you into a chameleon, changing your colors to fit every environment, saying what you think others want to hear, hiding parts of yourself for fear of rejection. You live a life that isn't authentic just to keep others happy, and in that process, you lose yourself. You become a reflection of others' expectations instead of being the original you are meant to be. Imagine the freedom you experience when you stop needing anyone's pat on the back, when you do something because you believe in it, because it aligns with your values, and the reaction of others is simply irrelevant. Whatever you do, some people will like it and some won't, period. It's a universal constant. Wasting time and energy trying to please everyone is the definition of madness. How do you cultivate this independence from external approval? Start by redirecting your attention. Instead of focusing on how people react to what you do or say, focus on your own intentions. Are you acting with honesty, with courage, with justice, understood as treating others fairly, with wisdom, understood as making decisions based on reason and knowledge? If the answer is yes, then you have done everything you can control. The outcome, including others' reactions, is beyond your control. Practice focusing on the process, not the external result. Put your energy into doing the best you can according to your own principles and let the world react however it chooses. Don't obsessively check who viewed your story, who liked your post, who called you. Slowly disengage from that drug. Begin to build your internal validation. Keep a mental or written record of your own victories, big and small, that no one else noticed or celebrated. Acknowledge your efforts, your perseverance, your integrity. Be your own coach, your own cheerleader. When your self-respect is built on solid foundations, your character, your virtuous actions, others' opinions become the background noise they truly are. The cage opens and you discover the immense freedom of being who you are without asking anyone's permission. Embrace the discomfort of growth. Let's discuss another uncomfortable truth. Personal growth, transformation, building a stronger and more respected version of yourself doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you dare to step outside of it, when you face discomfort, fear, and uncertainty. If you always choose the easy path, the familiar one that offers no resistance, you remain stagnant. And a stagnant soul is a soul that slowly withers, losing its vitality and indeed its self-respect. Stoicism encourages you to view discomfort not as something to be avoided at all costs, but as a signal that you are on the right track, challenging yourself, expanding your limits. The pain of physical training indicates your muscles are strengthening. The awkwardness of a difficult conversation indicates you are addressing a problem that needed resolution. The anxiety of trying something new indicates you are expanding your world. We have been conditioned to seek comfort above all else. We flee from any unpleasant sensation, boredom, frustration, fear of rejection, the uncertainty of change. And in doing so, we miss the opportunities for growth that are only found on the other side of that discomfort. Think about the last time you avoided doing something important because you were afraid or felt lazy. How did you feel afterward? Probably relieved in the short term, but in the long term, that avoidance left a bitter taste of regret or the knowledge that you didn't live up to your potential. Each time you choose comfort over growth, you weaken your self-confidence. Embracing discomfort means, for example, having that difficult conversation with someone who has crossed your boundaries instead of remaining silent and letting the situation worsen. It means saying no to a social commitment that drains your energy, even if you fear disappointing someone. It means starting that challenging project that intimidates you, instead of staying in the security of what you already master. It means sitting with your own anxiety or fear instead of distracting yourself with your phone or any other evasion. The Stoic understands that character is forged in adversity, not in comfort. Difficult situations, those that exasperate you, those that force you to confront your fears, these are the ones that mold you, that reveal your true strength, and that give you the opportunity to practice your Stoic principles under pressure. I'm not telling you to seek meaningless suffering. I'm telling you that when life or your own path forward presents you with an uncomfortable situation that aligns with your values and your growth, don't run. Face it. Breathe through it. Remain present in the discomfort instead of trying to escape. Each time you dare to do something uncomfortable and overcome it, no matter how small the achievement, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You prove to yourself that you are more capable than you thought. You become more resilient. And that resilience, that ability to endure and overcome difficulty, is an incredibly respectable quality. The next time you feel resistance, fear, or laziness towards something you know is good for you or necessary, stop. Acknowledge the discomfort. And then take a small step towards it. You don't have to jump into the abyss all at once. One small step at a time. The simple act of facing discomfort instead of running from it is already a victory. And with each small victory, you build the internal strength that will allow you to face even greater challenges. Growth lies on the other side of your fear of being uncomfortable. Dare to cross. Freedom lies in needing nothing from anyone. This is the Everest of Stoicism, the summit of the mountain. True freedom isn't doing whatever you want without consequences. It's needing nothing from anyone to be complete, to be happy, to feel valuable. It's reaching a state of internal self-sufficiency, where your peace and well-being depend exclusively on you, on your character, on your actions, on your way of perceiving the world. When you don't need anyone's approval, nor constant companionship, nor material possessions to feel fulfilled, you become impregnable, you become truly free. We live in a society that fosters dependence. We depend on validation on social media, on the approval of our social circle, on the security of a job or a relationship, on the temporary satisfaction that purchases or entertainment provide. We constantly seek outside ourselves what we can only find within. And that dependence makes us vulnerable. It makes us hostages to others' opinions, to changing circumstances, to the unpredictable actions of other people. The Stoic seeks ataraxia, imperturbability, a state of calm and serenity that cannot be disturbed by external events. And that imperturbability is achieved by understanding what is under our control, our judgments, our impulses, our desires, our aversions, and what is not, everything else, the body, property, reputation, others' opinions, external events. Freedom is found in releasing attachment to everything that is not under our control. When you don't need a certain person to love you, to feel valuable, their rejection loses its power to hurt you. When you don't need your job to give you status to feel successful, a job loss becomes a challenge, not an identity catastrophe. When you don't need material luxuries to be happy, a lack of money becomes an inconvenience, not a source of existential misery. This isn't about becoming an insensitive hermit. It's about building a solid foundation of internal well-being that cannot be shaken by external storms. You can enjoy relationships, work, possessions, but your happiness does not depend on them. They are pleasant additions to a life that is already complete in itself. How is this internal self-sufficiency cultivated? By practicing detachment from externals. Recognize that everything that isn't your virtuous character can be taken from you at any moment. Your health can fail, your wealth can disappear, your relationships can end, your reputation can be shattered by rumors. Accepting this reality isn't pessimism, it's realism. And by accepting the fragility of externals, you stop clinging to them desperately. Focus on cultivating your virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, self-discipline. These are the only possessions no one can take from you. They are the impregnable core of your being, and by living according to them, you build an inexhaustible source of self-respect and inner peace. Practice gratitude for what you have now, without clinging to it as if it were permanent. Practice resilience in the face of adversity, seeing it as an opportunity to strengthen your character. Practice moderation in your desires, distinguishing between what is necessary and what is superfluous. When you reach a point where you need nothing from anyone, you become the most powerful person in the world. You are no longer manipulable by the promise of reward or the threat of loss. You are free to act according to your principles, regardless of external pressures. Your presence becomes valuable not because you beg for it, but because it emanates a quietness, a strength, an authenticity that are rare and magnetic. You are a beacon in a sea of dependence. And that, my friend, is the highest level of respect you can achieve, both for yourself and from the world. We've traversed a brutally honest path. We've shattered myths about respect, communication, and external validation. We've unearthed Stoic principles that empower you to reclaim your dignity and build an inner fortress that no one can demolish. Understand this. The external world is chaotic, filled with people who will try to step on you, use you, ignore you. You cannot control that. But you can control how you respond. You can choose to stop being a victim of indifference and start being the architect of your own life. Remember, your first weapon against contempt is your absence. Your worth doesn't require your explanation. Your silence, used strategically, speaks louder than any complaint. External approval is a debilitating drug. Seek your validation within. Don't fall into the trap of feeding the wounded ego of those who attack you. Your calm is their greatest defeat. Forgive silently for your own freedom and move forward without looking back. Protect your energy as if it were the air you breathe. Cultivate self-discipline as the pillar of your self-respect. Embrace discomfort because that's where true growth resides. And always aim for the summit, the complete freedom of needing nothing from anyone to be whole. This isn't information to simply file away in your mind. It's a call to action. These principles don't work if you only hear them. They work if you live them. If you put them into practice every day, in every interaction, in every challenge. It will be difficult. It will go against years of social conditioning. You will feel uncomfortable. Some people will leave your life because they can no longer manipulate you or take you for granted. Let them go. Their departure is a necessary cleansing so that people and opportunities that truly value the new you, the strong and unshakable you that you are building, can arrive. Transformation isn't a destination. It's a constant journey. A journey of self-discovery, discipline, and courage. You are not alone on this path. There's a community of souls tired of mediocrity who are reclaiming their power. If this resonated with you, if you feel it's time to stop asking permission to be respected and start demanding it through your stance, then join us. Subscribe to this channel right now. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any dose of this unfiltered truth. And if you dare to go further, consider becoming a member to support this content and delve even deeper into these philosophies. The world needs fewer people begging for attention and more people radiating self-respect. The world needs fewer complaints and more silent, dignified action. Be that person. Start today. Don't wait for anyone's permission. You have everything you need within you. Build that unshakable mind. Build that life no one can destabilize. The time is now.